what I always tell people who doesn't have the knowledge of ancient Hebrew pictograph letters is that there is high possibility that they will always misinterpret scriptures, and they will always interpret scriptures in a way that some scriptures will contradict other scriptures. Why? Because the language they are speaking, this English language, is opposite of the ancient Hebrew, and the scriptures was written in ancient Hebrew. In this video, I will state out 3 clear points showing the difference between ancient Hebrew concrete pictograph letters or language compared to this English abstract language or any other European language. So I will show you how far you are from the scriptures. Yeah, you may understand some things by reading from the English language, right? You may understand some things in the scriptures, but to able to uncover or discover some mysteries, some deeper understanding, some more biblical insight, you need to go beyond English. You need to go way beyond English, because English doesn't line up or is not aligned with the words or understanding of those letters in the original Hebrew. Now, here is point number 1. Hebrew communicates through pictures. English communicates through definition. Let me say that again. Point number 1, the Hebrew communicates through pictures and the English communicates through definition, right? So if picture, when you see picture, you are able to see, comprehend, like you see what the person is talking about. You get what I'm saying? It's more kind of reality. You see what the person is talking about. Then compare to definition. I can always define something without you seeing it. Ancient Hebrew original letters comes from a picture form, a visual form, something you can see, something like this. Can you see? It's a picture which has meaning. You know what I'm saying? So it's a picture. They are all picture. You know what I'm saying? So all the letters are pictures. What does that mean? It means that once you join the pictures together, you get reality. Now, this picture, you can see the picture of a house, bed, right? Bed, picture of a house. It means it has meaning. It's not just a letter. It has meaning. So that means this letter alone, letter bet, is also a word. You know what I'm saying? So this is a letter, and this is a word, and this is a number. So in Hebrew, words, letters, and numbers are always together. Words are letters, and numbers are also letters. You get my point? What that means is that each letter carried a meaning tied to real life. You know what I'm saying? So just like this letter, this is a letter. This is a letter, picture of a house. You see, it's tied to real life event. This letter here is tied to real life event. House. This is a picture of a house. So there's another letter that means hand, which is yod. There's another letter like water. There's another letter like a shepherd's staff, right? So words were understood through combining pictures. Did you get? So Hebrew words are understood through combining pictures. So when I combine pictures, it will illustrate reality. It would give me reality description of the word, like it would tie to real life events. It will always give me a description of reality. So words I understand once I combine the letter. So that means the word Hebrew words define themselves. You know what I'm saying? So because the letters has meaning, so that way once you join the letters to form a word, the word defines itself. Because when you are joining, this is a letter, it has meaning, right? So when I'm joining this letter to form a word, I'm also joining a word to form a sentence. You know what I'm saying? So words are also sentence. Did you get? So each letter is a word, right? So if I join this now, if I join this is bet, we have the B sound, and this is noon, we have the N sound, right? So joining this together is Hebrew word for sun. What I'm saying? So now these two letters alone, the picture has already given me definition of the word. I do not have to go for any dictionary to go and look for the meaning of sun, the meaning of ben. No, it has the definition of sun is here, and all, not just the definition, the reality function of a sun is here. These pictures now will give me all the definition or characteristics or function or action of a sun, everything that has to do with the sun. You know what I'm saying? These two picture would illustrate or describe that reality for me. Why? Because it ties to real life. It's a picture of something that I can see. It's a picture of a house. Can you see a house? Yes, a picture of a tent, which means a house, and a picture of a seed. You know what I'm saying? So because they are letters and they are words, this is a letter and also a word. So when I'm joining these two letters together, I'm also joining word together to form a sentence, right? So this is a word and this is also a sentence. So now I have word in, you know what I'm saying? I also have a sentence, right? So I have description, I have words define themselves. So letters has meaning, and letters has meaning, and words has definition. You do not have to go and look for definition of words anywhere. So that means if I'm using word to, if I'm talking about sun with you, so that means I've already given you the definition of a sun. You cannot ever try. You do not have to try to imagine what I mean by a sun. So, and that is not the same with the English, right? The English letters, the English alphabet are abstract, which has no meaning. So what that means is that we have to add meaning to the letters. You know what I'm saying? Without us adding meaning to those letters, they have no meaning. While on the opposite and on other side, on the other hand, Hebrew letters has meaning already, and they are words already. So English letters are abstract, which doesn't have meaning. So that means you have to add meaning to it, or you have to always look for meaning for it. That is the reason for dictionary. You do not need dictionary to define any Hebrew word, right? You do not need dictionary to define Hebrew pictograph language, right? Pictograph letters, right? But you need dictionary to define English words. See the difference? So that means in English, because it's abstract, there's no picture to actually give you to tie the word to real life. So that means I can tell you one thing now and come later and tell you and twist that thing to mean something else. But that can never happen in Hebrew. Why? Because like this picture now, these letters now, like I said, this is a Hebrew word for sun. Bet, noon, ben, right? So I can, if I even try to change it this way, I have another word, I have something else. And if I try to flip it, change it, it will mean like another word entirely. So I've scattered the word, I've mean something else. It can never mean the same thing. Just the same two letters. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference, but that's not the same thing. That is not so in English. English I can, because those words doesn't have concrete or solid foundation or some visual pictograph, something you can fix your eye to. You know what I'm saying? So that way you can always change it, can always twist it. That leads to people using English to lie. That's why I can easily use English to lie to people. Can twist word, can manipulate, do whatever thing you like, but you cannot do that same thing in Hebrew, because once you say a word, the person actually know what you are talking about. There's no how you can come and twist it in the Hebrew. So now you see, like I said, English letters doesn't have meaning, so we have to add meanings to it. So that way, understanding English words depends on dictionary definition, not imagery, not picture, right? Meanwhile, on the other hand, understanding Hebrew depends on the picture, or depends on the illustration of the pictures. So the pictures will give you concrete definition of the word. That way, you can never be confused, never ever, because you see the reality of the word. The word describes reality, and the words are always like something that function like verb. You know what I'm saying? Now let's move to point number 2. In point number 1, I mentioned that Hebrew words are always verb. You know what I'm saying? So Hebrew expresses actions, right? Hebrew words or letters expresses action. I mean, in Hebrew way of thinking, the words or letters expresses action, while English expresses idea. Did you get it now? So Hebrew words or letter expresses action, so while English words expresses idea. Let me give you example of what I am talking about. Hebrew words are rooted in verb and action, meaning it's often about what something does. You know what I'm saying? So Hebrew words are always verb. They are rooted in words and action. It's always about action, like somebody doing something. You know what I'm saying? So even the names, like I said, I've mentioned in all of the videos, every time I always say that Hebrew names give you the function of that person, describe the person, describe the function of that person, describe the character and the behavior of that person. That is how Hebrew names is. That is how Hebrew names are, because of the word and the language. So Hebrew words always tell you what something does or somebody does. If it was name, if it was something, or if it was a word. So Hebrew words always tell you, always mention something, it's all about action. You know what I'm saying? For example, let me use this word, the word faith. I'm not going to go deep into Hebrew. Right? Let me just say it in a very simple way, right? Faith in Hebrew actually means someone's faithfulness through behavior. Like faith in Hebrew, I'm just giving you a simple definition. It means faithfulness through your behavior, because of like your faithfulness shows by your behavior. That's the Hebrew word for faith. The meaning, the concrete Hebrew meaning of faith. It means showing your faithfulness through your behavior. If you go back to the scriptures, when Paul was said it was by faith that Abraham was willing to sacrifice his son Isaac. And there is a book, I think it's James, that said, show me your faith with no works, and I'll show you my faith by my works. What I'm saying. And he also said, faith without works is dead. You know what I'm saying? So now you can see the idea, the ancient Hebrew, how they think. Faith, wow. Now that is faith. That is the Hebrew meaning of faith. Faithfulness showing by your behavior, showing your faithfulness through your behavior. You show your faithfulness. You are faithful. You show that you are faithful to Yahuwah by your behavior, by your living, by how you live, by obeying His commandment. Example is Abraham. Example is a lot of people in the scriptures that are example of who people of faith are, which is what Paul was talking about. Like Noah, it was by faith that Noah built the ark. It was by faith that Abraham sacrificed his son. It was by faith that this person do this. You know what I'm saying? That was what Paul was talking about. He said it was those people showed their faithfulness. They showed that they trust in Yahuwah. They showed their faithfulness to Yahuwah, the Most High Creator of the heavens and the earth, by obeying Him and follow what He commanded them to do. So that is the Hebrew word for faithfulness. You can see you show your faithfulness through your action, through your behavior towards Yahuwah's commandments. That is the Hebrew word for faith. Meanwhile, on the other hand, English word for faith is just a mental belief. That is why in the Christian church, they will tell you they will call you to what they call altar call, which is satanic anyway. That is actually satanic. You are pledging allegiance to Satan. You are actually inviting a Satan to your heart with not unknowingly, right? So they said you should say, I believe that JC, they are Jesus. You know what I'm saying? This you believe just by saying it with your mouth. So after that, you are cool to go. You know what I'm saying? Which is the total opposite of the Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? Do you see the opposite? Now, do you see where a lot of religious halves get it wrong? Do you see why Christians get it wrong? Not only just Christians, even some people who claim to be awakening, who claim to walk in the Torah, who claim to follow Yahuwah, a lot of them or most of them are getting it wrong because they are still trying to interpret the set apart text, the Holy Scriptures, with European mindset and European way of thinking, abstract way of thinking. So even those that claim to be teachers, that's why there are a lot of false teachers in the awakening. Why? Because they are still because they are stuck in this European mindset of interpreting scriptures. They call themselves teachers, but they do not even want to go deeper into Hebrew to even know what the Hebrew says. They're all about English. That is why they are leading a lot of out of their shell astray, because they pledge themselves to be a teacher. Meanwhile, they did not even qualify to be a teacher. So that's number two, and that's the point two. Point two is Hebrew always expresses action. You know what I'm saying? While English is about mental belief. Hebrew expresses action. English define ideas. Point three, Hebrew words comes from experience, while English words comes from concepts. Let me start again. Hebrew meaning comes from experience, while English comes from concepts. Hebrew thought connects words to real life, experience and functioning, like things like seeing, touch, feel, do something. You know what I'm saying? Here, like they are all concrete terms. Like I said in our previous video, they are always Hebrew always express things in a way can be seen, smell, touch, hear, and so on. So they always speak in that manner or write in that manner. They use things that you can see, you can smell, you can touch, you can feel, you can hear. So they communicate in that way. That is not how it is with English. English are not communicating that way. English tend to describe things. English tend to describe or define things in an abstract way that might not connect to real life or real life event or real life experience. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Hebrew express things by connecting the words or meaning to experience, to real life experience, whereby you can see, feel, smell, touch. You know what I'm saying? English is not English is not like that. English define or English cannot connect word to real life experience, or may not connect words or meaning to real life experience. So that is the difference. So that means all the words in the Torah, all the words in the scriptures are something that you can connect to real life. You know what I'm saying? So in as much as the scriptures are spiritual, but we are physical, right? So spiritual and physical go together. So once we understand the spiritual, that will shape our physical. You know what I'm saying? So that is why we live this way, and because of the understanding we get from the scriptures. So if we interpret it through the minds of the English, we always live like the English, right? We always live like the European. We always live according to how we understand. Because why? Because that is how we understand it, right? But because that is how we understand it, right? But the Hebrew, if you understand it in the Hebrew, which tied to real life experience, you see that you begin to change your how you begin to go in a different direction, which is not the direction of the world. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people will be going in the ways of the world because Europeans shaped the world, right? While if you are if the ancient Hebrew shapes your mind, you will go in the way of Yahuwah. Why? Because the Torah, the word of Yahuwah, which is spirit, is the something that shaping your reality. You know what I'm saying? Because you get it's tied to your reality. You understand it because the words always tied to real life experience. Yahuwah is spirit, right? But he created things that we can see. You know what I'm saying? So that way is the words are always have to do with things we can see. You know what I'm saying? Like tree, house, human being, part of our body, animals, everything. You know what I'm saying? It has to do with our daily life. Check how Hamashiach was teaching. Yahushua Hamashiach. He always used things they can see, smell, feel, touch to describe events to them. Check those parables. You know what I'm saying? So that way you understand ancient Hebrew way of thought. You understand the difference and you understand why you can never get mystery of the scriptures. Now let me use the word sun, Hebrew word for sun, to tell you what I mean. Now I said this like picture describe reality, right? It tied something to real life. This word for Hebrew word for sun, like a picture of a bed, a house, which means which means it means house. Bed means house. Within family, right? Family. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you hear word like house of David. House is in the Hebrew. House is not just limited to a building. House is human being a house. That's why our body is a house. That's why Hebrew word for body is is it basar? Basar. It starts with breath. So we are a house. So we are also a temple. Whereby the Most High dwell in us. I don't want to go far about that. So now this is a picture of a bed. It means house, family, within like being inside the house, right? So unit, it means unit, right? And it also has numerical value of 2. This is the picture, this letter, right? And this is the letter Nun. It means seed, right? It means life. It means continuation. Seed, yeah. And it also means to sprout out. You see this when something is sprout out. You know what I'm saying? Like semen, right? This is and when seed is sprouting out, this is how they look like. The same thing look with the semen. What I'm saying now, this if you join these two letters together, you have Hebrew word for son, which is Ben. Now in English, that word son, for you to know the meaning of a word for son, you need to go and look for dictionary to look for the meaning, right? It's not the same thing in Hebrew, like I said, because this is a letter which also means something, right? It means a house, and this is a letter which also means something. So joining them together, I'm having a sentence, 2-word sentence, right? It means seed of the house. Remember, seed of the house. This is hair. This word also means hair. So the meanings of all these letters will tell you everything about the word son. Son means heir to the throne. You know what I'm saying? A son is a heir to the throne. A son is somebody that inherit father's property. A son is somebody that continue the father's lineage, right? The lineage of family. A son is somebody that continue a lineage, right? Because it's also a seed. A seed. You know what I'm saying? Seed is something when you sow in the ground, it will germinate, also produce that same seed. So that's what son. So son does the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So son is somebody that continue family lineage, right? So that is what happened in those days when they during those days when they used to fight war. when they come and they conquer a particular king or they overthrow the king, they will make sure that they kill all the male child. You know what I'm saying? So because they know that if they leave any male child alive, that male child is still heir to that throne. You know what I'm saying? So that means they need to kill all the seed, all the son of that family, of that kingly lineage, so that it will never, there will be nobody again to ever want to become a king from that lineage. So that way they will destroy every anybody that's supposed to become a king in that family. So that is how it is. Please, it is very, very important for you to understand ancient Hebrew. If you need help, you see, Yahweh did not give us knowledge or Yahweh did not reveal things for us to keep it for ourselves. He said that, you know what I'm saying? He revealed it to us for us to share with our brothers. If you need any help if you want to understand ancient Hebrew, or you want any resource, you want anything, please feel free to contact us. Our email address is in the description box, and WhatsApp number. Whatever thing you need, we can take you through, as long as it has to do with the ancient Hebrew. It's not something that is very hard, something that is very easy. Yahuwah is not author of confusion. He make the language very easy for us to understand. So don't see it as something that is very hard. It's very easy. It will guide you through. It will guide you from beginning, as easy as you see that it's as easy as ABC. So that you have more biblical insight, so that you will be able to understand the set apart text, the Holy Scriptures, through the perspective or through the minds of the ancient writers. So that way you expand and have more biblical insight that will sharpen your reality. You know what I'm saying? So that way you never your foundation, your belief will have a solid foundation. You know what I'm saying? So that way you know that you build your belief or your faith on a solid foundation. Because once you understand things, you understand words from the ancient Hebrew and through the principles of Torah. You know what I'm saying? That way your foundation is solid. Nobody can ever come again to come and to change your mind. You know what I'm saying? Because you have solid foundation. You have a concrete thing. You have something that is concrete. You know what I'm saying? That's why a house must have a foundation. But if you understand it from the abstract, that it doesn't have a foundation, that one word can have 20 different meanings, you will always be told there and fro. You know what I'm saying? You will always be going there and fro. You always be confused, and you always not sure of what to believe in. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you understand Yahuwah and you understand things, you understand words from the ancient Hebrew, your foundation will be solid. Please feel free to contact us. We are here to serve. You know what I'm saying? We do not charge to teach you Hebrew, right? If you want to go and register to learn, to take a class, they will ask you to pay some thousands of dollars. But here, Yahweh said free is given. Free. Yahweh said that He give us this gift like this. You know what I'm saying? For free. So we should share it for free. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on the people to see that we are doing the work of Yahweh. You can support. You know what I'm saying? But we do not charge you to teach. We teach for free. We teach to bring glory to Yahweh. All right, please, if this is your first time watching, do well to subscribe and share the video to others. Don't forget to like and share your thoughts in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? And always feel free to contact us if you need any help. See you in our next video. Until then, hallelujah, shalom.